You are listening to Hello Cupcake, It's Me, a podcast with your host, Michael Peterson.
Hey everyone, Michael here with Hello Cupcake, It's Me, a podcast, and today is the Thursday podcast. It is Thursday, July 24th, 2025, and isn't it an interesting time to be alive? If you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe, and then head on over to youtube.com/hellocupcakeitsme to check out the YouTube channel that is updated every Wednesday and Saturday. And head on over to the blog hellocupcakeitsme.com and give it some love. Make sure that you follow me on all the different socials and check out my book Carpe Diem Scroto 365 Daily Affirmations, found at www.cdsthebook.com. So how the hell is everyone doing? It has already been a week and it's only Thursday, but this week has just been a bitch. And I know I said that during the last Thursday's podcast, but like, man, this Mercury retrograde is kicking all the ass that I don't have. It's kicking ass and not leaving names, numbers, or forwarding address. So Tuesday night, as I do every Tuesday, I go to the bar and I play trivia. And recently, within the last year and a half, give or take, my niece has been joining me. And so every Tuesday, whenever I get to the bar, I automatically save 3 chairs, one for me, one for her, and one for a girlfriend of mine. And we play our trivia, have good time, whatever else. So Tuesday, there was very few people in the bar. There was a couple of the regulars, a woman that I haven't seen in there before, and a family of 8. And so it was like, okay, cool, whatever. Had my spots set aside, and this guy and his girlfriend or wife, I don't know who they were to one another, showed up, and they wanted to sit and talk with the lady who was already sitting there. And he wanted to take one of the chairs that I had saved specifically for my niece. And I just told him, I said, oh, I'm sorry, I have somebody who's going to be joining me here shortly, and I'm just saving the seat for her. This guy came so far out of pocket about how I wasn't going to give up a seat for a lady and all this other stuff. And I'm like, the seat is reserved for a lady, just whatever. There's other places that you can sit if you wish to do so. There's tables over there that can accommodate your party. And the lady who had been sitting there prior to me showing up, she said, I'm not moving. I'm like, okay, well, I was just giving you an option for you and your friends. So for about 45 minutes, this dude is just mumbling under his breath about how big of a piece of shit I am, what kind of asshole I am, and all this other stuff, and making rude, snide comments. And one of my guy friends came up and he set his drink down, and the guy turns and he looks at him, he's like, oh, don't sit there, it's being saved. And my friend, without even missing a beat, he's like, yeah, he saves it for his niece. Every week we come here, and these are our seats for trivia. And then he looks at me, smiles, and then walks away. And so the guy just kept mumbling and grumbling. Then my friend, who is in her 50s, long gray hair, beautiful woman, um, she shows up and he's like, "Oh, this must be the niece." I said, "Actually, no, this is my girlfriend." And gave her a hug and like did the whole, "Hey honey, how are you doing?" and hug and kiss and blah blah. And then he started going back on about his rumbling and his grumblings. And she looked at me like, "What the fuck is going on?" And I was like, I'll tell you in a few minutes. So he's still rambling on between him, his wife, and their friend or whatever. Anyways, my niece shows up and she goes to sit. He's like, "Oh, you must be the niece." I said, "And she is." And she's like, my niece is not a confrontational person, so she got like this deer in headlight panic mode going on. And I was like, you're not sitting there." She's like, "Well, okay." I'm like, "No, sit over here." So I set myself in between him and her, because had he said anything to her, I would have flipped the fuck out and I would probably be in jail right now, because at one point I was already holding my knife or my fork like I was going to stab him with it. Like I had completely mapped out everything that I was going to do to this guy and the most violent possible way, and was going to be unapologetic about it. Now, one thing that I've learned since being diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder is that one of my alters is the protector. That altar has no filter, no boundaries, nothing is too much for this particular altar. And it was everything I could do to keep from having a switch. I felt it. I felt it coming on, and I did like a quick check-in with the other alters, personalities, whatever you want to call them. I was like, "No, we can't do this right now. Just, leave it alone. If he makes any kind of a move, then you have full access to do whatever." And the whole time I'm having this conversation with myself, the bartender's looking at me. He's like, "Michael, are you okay?" I'm like, "Not really." I said, "I'm doing the best I can, but I'm letting you know that shit's about to hit the fan really fast." And I said, "I am going to do my best to keep that from happening, but just know that it's going to go from 0 to 100 really quickly." And so the bartender stepped in and he started like telling him, "Hey, be civil. Let's keep things, civil. Let's blah, blah, whatever." And so, yeah, Tuesday, there's so much more to that story, but I don't want to focus on that because I feel myself getting pissed off again and I need to let it go. So, moving right along. Um, if you haven't tuned into the YouTube videos, then I'll just do a quick little rundown on Saturday. Sunday, I did a date, like a day date for myself. I didn't want to be home. My morning routine got thrown off. I was getting upset with life, and I just like, you know what? I need to get the hell out of the house. So I took myself on a little date. Now, the town that I live in, some investment firms from California have come in and bought the two major parking lots that have for decades served the entire community and the downtown area. and now have turned them into paid parking. And I absolutely refuse to pay for parking in my own backyard. Now, if we were in a bigger city and that had been established and all that other stuff for, a good number of years, okay, cool, fine, whatever. I'll go ahead and I'll do that. But, it's not the case. And the fact that this investment firm is not only charging the locals for parking, they have also raised the space rents for local businesses that have rooted and been established for well over 30, 40 years. There's this one pharmacy that has been there since the 1950s. So, that kind of establishment. So anyways, I went downtown and I found street parking. And so I walked from where I parked my car to one of the shops inside of this new paid parking place. Did a little shopping in there and got everything on sale. Ended up walking out for like less than $10, and I got a couple of items for my camping backpacking stuff that I want to do. And then I went to the little craft store that we have and got myself a new necklace and paid a whopping $4.15 for that. Then I went to this little new age store and got myself some new incense, and then went back to my car, drove down to Goodwill, walked around Goodwill, picked up a few things, found something for a really good friend of mine, and called them up and let them know that I had that for them. And I no sooner get home and my friend calls me up and is like, hey, I don't want to be home. You want to go for a walk? I was like, well, yeah, I just got home from walking around downtown, but let's go ahead and do this. So went out for a mile walk with her, came home, no sooner started getting relaxed, and then my niece calls, and then we're on the phone for 2 hours. And during that time period that I'm on the phone with her, I've made my dinner and everything, and I have eaten, and I hang up with her, get ready to turn on a movie, and a girlfriend from college calls. And so we're on the phone with each other for a little while, and I'm just feeling myself getting more and more drowsy, and I'm like, you know what? It's fine. I'm fine. I'm just going to power through this conversation, because we're usually on the phone for 3 or 4 hours at a time. Y'all, I fell asleep with her on the phone. And when I woke up in a panic. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what happened? What happened? I'm so sorry. And she's like, don't worry about it. You sounded tired. And I'm like, I am so, so, so sorry. So yeah. It was just a really long, busy day. And adding on to Tuesday, got some really bad news from some family members regarding their health. So, the last few days have just been really kind of grotesque and unnecessary. And I have to keep reminding myself that it is a Mercury retrograde happening right now, that it's going to be this way clear through until at least the last week of August or the first week of September. This time last year, I was under so much stress and depression. I was suicidal. I had so much going on in my life that I was barely holding on. I had some I still don't know what happened, but friends of 15 and 13 years completely like ghosted me and just caused even more drama. Plus, I had the stress of getting the book finalized and published. And yeah, so, I can't believe that it's almost a year since the book has been out and published and in the universe, and it's pretty awesome. So, yeah, just kind of chugging along right now and having to remind myself that I'm doing the best I can and that this is a time where communication and where things just kind of die out and are not the best, and that I have to continuously remind myself of that. So, yeah. So if you're starting to experience things, this Mercury retrograde deals with communication and your networking. So this is a time period where a lot of people start having issues at work. They start having issues within their relationships. Marriages fall apart. There's a lot of misunderstandings and things like that. Take time to preserve what you have in your life. If it's going to cause a fight, you do not have to be reactionary with it. Give it some time. If somebody asks you a question, say, hey, can I get back to you? Take a day to answer them. Be proactive in your life right now. Like, you have got to take time to properly listen. Not listen to respond, but listen to understand. And when you're talking to people, and if they're getting like bent out of shape or whatever, you have got to remember that communication is out of sync right now. So that's another thing that I had to remind myself about Tuesday, is just remember, Michael, things are out of sync, and it's going to be this way for a couple of more days. I keep saying a couple of more days because I am trying to be positive and project good things and surround myself with good things. But anyways, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please put them in the comment section down below. I would love to do a Q&A session. So, ask me some questions and I will give you some answers. And as always, thank you so much for just being a listener and being a consumer of the content that I create. And yeah, until next time, I will talk to you then. Don't add to the population, don't subtract from the population, and remember, you're doing the best you can with what you have available to you. Talk to you next time.
Hey you! Tired of mental health books that feel like homework or therapy sessions in disguise? Carpe Diem Scroto is not that book. Written by author Michael Peterson, utilizing his own personal mental health journey, it's your daily dose of clarity, humor, and healing, designed to meet you exactly where you are. Whether you're sipping coffee in chaos or taking a quiet minute for yourself, this book gives you real, raw tools to reframe your day, your mindset, and your life. Unlike anything else on the market, Carpe Diem Scroto blends personal storytelling, practical mental health strategies, and a keep-it-real attitude that makes self-work feel like self-empowerment. Use it daily, share it with a friend, or grow at your own pace. Ready to reclaim your day with bite-sized brilliance? Head to www.cdsthebook.com to grab your copy or learn more.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You have been listening to Hello Cupcake, It's Me, a podcast with your host, Michael Peterson. Please make sure to check back often as new episodes are released bi-weekly. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to send a message to hellocupcakeitsme@gmail.com. And until next time, stay happy, safe, and keep doing the best you can with what you have been given.